Steve over there was trying to take credit for it. He was like, oh yeah, I got that for, I was like, thank you. It was not, who was it really? It was probably Pahina and Rebecca got it together. Thank you guys. We just got past a time where we pulled out probably all of our receipts and bills and W-2s and all of that. But shredding really should be like a daily thing that you do. You go to the store, you get a receipt, shred it. You get junk mail that you think really isn't anything, shred it. Because there are a million reasons why your little pieces of information added together for bad guys is their job to steal your identity so they can get money, your money. This is what you do. You get a shredder that is super easy, looks good, and it's actually the latest technology. Shredders have evolved because bad guys have evolved. We did the strip cut, we did the cross cut. The best, finest cut of getting everything down to where they can never piece it back together is what we are calling the Microcut. This is a 100-sheet auto feeder, and there's no longer one at a time being able to do that. You put 100 sheets of whatever it is, walk away, and it will shred it for you. We're gonna take this shredder from $149.99 down to $109.99, give it to you with the free shipping, give you 3 different color options. This is the gray, the middle is the black, and furthest from me is the white. They do come on wheels. That's always the first question everybody always asks me. It comes to us from Bonsaii. I'm gonna bring in Jeff Klein. We're gonna talk about shredding, why it's important, and why Bonsaii is a good question.
Well, A, it's so important, and I'm glad you talked about that because it's every day, and that's what I don't think we should think about it more. Every day we shred. Every day when you get something, that junk mail, when you get your credit card statement, we still get that in the mail. When I get that credit card statement, I look at it, and then I immediately also the credit card offers. We get credit card offers daily. I take it and I shred it because I don't want that going to anybody else. One thing I love about Bonsaii, there's a couple things that we love about the Bonsaii is the paper feeder right here, when not in use, as you can see in the black and the gray, closed up. You're not getting dust in that feeder. You're not getting anything in there, which is great. It's protected. Also, they kind of just look sleek off to the side. They're unnoticeable. They're not taking up a lot of space. Another great thing is you're getting 6-gallon pull-out bin right here, 6 gallons. So you may not think that that's a lot. You may think that's a ton. I'll tell you what's great about it. You mentioned the cross cut, the micro cut that we're doing. Used to be cross cut. I have examples right here so we can actually see. And you can see, I'll kind of show, this is cross cut. You can kind of see the strips. You know, a good puzzle maker could maybe put that back together. This is micro cut. And like you said, there's nothing, look how tiny those particles are. That's incredible. Also, I want to point out the difference between those two, space. One of the biggest things and one of the nicest things about when you get into the micro cut technology is you're able to shred more and have it take up less space, which is incredible. So that way you're changing out your bin less often, you're able to put more stuff in there. Those little things that you don't think about, and honestly you shouldn't have to think about, they've taken care of that for us. And like we said, you said it's got an automatic paper shredder. I want to show that. These are my fake insurance claim forms. These are not real. Nobody's stealing my information, but if this was my real information, beautifully, I just put it in and it's just gonna start shredding. The nice thing is it'll go for 30 minutes continuously as it slowly takes one after another, just does its job. Automatic jam protection, you don't have to worry about it. The other nice thing is it's 62 decibels, which that's just a number to a lot of people, 62 decibels. What does that mean? It's a normal conversation, us talking. Well, not us talking, I'm loud.
I'm loud.
I'm loud.
So maybe like, would that be like a dishwasher
Like
level?
a dishwasher. Like a dishwasher in the background.
Do you remember back in the day when we used to have those shredders and it was just like, rah, it was so loud?
We wouldn't be able to have this conversation back in the day. But look at that.
That was quick.
Put it up there, it's quick, it's done. And I didn't have to go, like you said, I didn't have to go one at a time. And that was that automatic jam protection. It's just wanted to make sure nothing's left in there. It's constant protection for you.
And you know, Rebecca was telling me, our director was talking, you were talking about insurance claims. She says she has an insurance claim that 200 pages to it. That's one thing, right?
That's one thing.
Maybe, you know, a lot of us here in Florida at HSN, we're emptying our homes, getting ready for a move up to PA.
Going through stuff.
Man, you have so many pieces of paperwork, things throughout the years. You're storing them in boxes and cabinets and attics and this and that. And you don't get rid of it or throw it away because you don't want people to get it. But now you're just hoarding all of this stuff. Let's also get back some of that room in our home. I want you to look at this, where we talk about when to shred, right?
Yes, I would like the graphics up right now. That's one of the important things.
So talk about this.
So yeah, we just had tax season. I think now's a great time to touch on this. So we just had tax season, unless you extended like I did, and then tax season is coming up again. But if you've had your W-2s and your previous taxes for 7 years, it's time to get rid of it. You only need to keep it for 7 years. The Federal Trade Commission says 7 years max. And time to get rid of that. So clean up some of that space, but also pay stubs for over a year. You don't need that anymore. But again, the immediate stuff. And again, what I love about the Bonsaii is I love the small stature of it. It's got a big capacity and a small stature. And literally it is, when you get home from a store, I'm glad you said that, you have that receipt with you. You know, just put it in. Let it shred, and then you don't have to worry about somebody getting that, or what do I do with this?
I think that's why a lot of people end up asking me about them being on wheels, on casters, because they want to be able to kind of roll it underneath something and then take it out when they're ready to do some shredding. But also, you won't end up in that hoarding of information things if you shred on a daily basis.
Shred on a daily basis. You're amazed at how much you'll get rid of and how quickly it just clears up space. And again, I'm just putting it in there. If you have more than a couple things, let it do its thing. And it confidently and slowly does the job for you. I could walk away from this now. I'm not going to, because we're on air and that'd be rude. But I could walk away from this now and it's going to do its job and I don't have to worry about it.
I remember it was my first house I ever bought, and I was moving out of it and I wanted to shred all the stuff that I had in there. It was the tiniest little shredder, and I had to sit there and one by one, you know what I mean? And one thing got jammed, it was like the whole thing
and then you're breaking it apart.
Oh, it was so bad. But even back then, I was in my 20s, I understood the importance of shredding your stuff and all that other, but just things have evolved. Even if you have an old shredder that you've had for a really long time and you're like, I don't really know what kind of cut it is, go look in it, and if you can kind of piece the numbers and the letters back together, so is the person that's very highly motivated to piece it back together. We went from strip cut to cross cut, now we're at microcut, because if we just hung out at the original way we shredded things, we would all be in big trouble, right? I know it's kind of wild for like a regular average person for us to think about, but the people that are doing this to people, like stealing their identity and doing, that's literally their job. They get up every day and they're looking for you to slip up. They're looking for you to put the wrong things. And you know, I always kind of, you know, joke about this. Sorry, Rebecca. But if you're getting something like junk mail, you think it's junk mail, what could possibly be on this credit card offer or this thing or this one sales receipt from the grocery store, and you just do this and you throw it in the trash can? They're waiting.
That's so, and
they're waiting for that. By the way, that's an indication. That's probably that crinkled up thing.
Well, also I wanted to point out, like, this is how we used to throw things out, right? This is how we threw things out. And look at the difference between throwing something out to how it could be shredded. And such a difference. And also look at, this is 10 pieces of paper in here. So this is shredded 10 pieces of paper. This is one piece of paper. When I talk about saving space as well, because I always do the, you know, I end up taking it all to the recycling. That's one of my things. But how often am I going to the recycling bin comparatively? So it's wild what we're able to do. And then also I point out that I always try to think outside the box. This is one of those things, like we talked about with mail, with all of that. We get rid of it. We don't need it anymore. We don't have to think about it. But also, what else can we do? And I always try to think of, there's always these semi-positives. If you're a mother and you're getting ready for a kid's play date or you have a party, this is confetti. This is your own confetti, and that's just putting a little bag underneath, putting in some colored paper, and letting it do its thing right there. And then you can make your own. That's not specifically, but there are bonuses of
Yeah.
having those tiny particles
Yeah.
that it creates.
Well, and I think if, we have this on sale today at $109.99.
Which I think is an amazing price for what you're getting.
Well, I think if someone's thinking, I could go probably find like a cheaper shredder. First off, check what kind of shredder it is. Again, we're talking about this, strip cut and cross cut and all that. That's the first thing. Second thing, you're gonna spend that money, find out how many jams you have, find out how many times you have to sit there and do it on your own, figure out how loud it is. There's certain things in life you should try to get something with some good quality in it. This is it, because the moment you get a shredder and it breaks, it jams, it's hard to use, it's loud, it doesn't auto feed itself, then you're out of the shredding game, right? You're already. Was it me and you, Jeff, they were talking about, they used to have these like huge shredding events where you put all your baskets or boxes of paperwork.
Bring it all.
And you would go into this long line, and everybody would pull up to it, and then you would take your stuff out.
What a different day.
This mad shredding of things, right?
And now you have this at your house.
At your house.
And literally underneath, this fits underneath so many. This is underneath my desk right now.
Okay.
And it is literally, I roll it out because it's on the four casters. I roll it out, I pop the papers in to shred it, it starts shredding, and then I kind of put it back and do its thing. And like we talked about, when the lid's down, it's completely protected from dust and everything. And when the lid's up, you're right in there and you're shredding. And again, it's not stopping you from doing everything. You're able to have a conversation. It's just background happening.
So
you can see.
What you were just seeing, Jeff, that's the front slot. So that's kind of, if you're ready to,
So that's the front slot, and you can do more than a couple. You don't even need to go one paper at a time. You can go up to 10 paper right there, up to 10 pages right there. So that's like 4 pages right there. I want done. It's going, listen to that. It does easy, seamlessly, knocks it out. But if you have a stack of papers, like we talked about, if you have, look at that. I mean, that's just a stack of papers that you need to get rid of, but you don't want to sit here all day. You're just going to put it in that paper feeder, and you are going to let it do its thing right there. So boom, and then you go on with the rest of your day. You go on to whatever you need to edit, whatever you need to work on. You check on your kids, and it's going to just shred one by one on this and do its job, which is fantastic. And there we go. Financial information being shredded right now. And we don't need that anymore. And like you said, if you're packing, if you're getting ready to move, you realize how much you've kind of accumulated over the years. And then this can take care of that for you time and time again, which is great.
Do you have kids?
I do not, no.
So I have a 5-year-old.
Right.
And I quickly found out as a parent, you write a lot of your information on things and send it to the school. And I was like, this is wild. Could you take the information? Can I have this so I can shred this as I'm writing like my entire life stuff on this piece of paper for you guys? There's so many circumstances, receipts, old bills, even the junk mail that you don't think is anything, the tax documents, old pay stubs, whatever it is. It really is about it. They just need a little bit. Add in AI and all this new stuff. It's filling in the rest of it. They just need a snippet of what you got going on.
Right.
And now it's filling it out. Now they're you. So many, it's hard for me to even say who in my life hasn't been affected by it. Even if it's one charge, one weird thing, I feel like we've all known or are the person that's been affected.
Oh, absolutely. And I think adding a shredder to my household, which when I did it, it added a peace of mind that I didn't really think about coming, and it was that peace of mind of when I get that mail. And I said before, when I get that credit card offer in the mail, what am I doing with this? I don't, I used to rip it in half. I used to rip it in half, and I was like, I took care of it. It's in half. Nobody could clearly put two halves together.
Isn't it so
funny,
though?
We're safe now. And obviously that was not the case. So now I don't even think about that. I go, I'm not gonna rip it in half. I'm gonna rip it into hundreds of tiny pieces, thousands of pieces. That's what I want. That's the mental security that you get with having a shredder.
I think why we were like just crumpling it up or ripping it in half or fours and we thought that was the thing is because we're not the bad guys.
No,
you know what I
don't
mean?
Think about that.
We're not thinking that way because that's not how we think. We just think, oh yeah, it's going in the trash, and trash that's a good place. Oh, do you know what? So in my neighborhood, we have a Facebook group where me and my neighbors all talk to one another that, if something happens or we need something from one another. Literally last week or the week before, my neighbor right across the street said, hey, our HOA has been notified that people are going through our trash cans in the middle of the night, and it's always the night before trash day. And I'm like, they are up in the middle of the night. They know what day my trash day is. Wild.
They're the ones thinking about it.
And they're thinking about it. Like, you and I aren't thinking about it. That's not our job. I gotta think about coming here and doing this. But that's their job.
And my peace of mind changed a lot from going from this to being safe.
Nobody
could put financial and information together to literally just getting it, putting it in there, and then thinking, I don't have to think anymore. This is done. I'm safe. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. That is done for me. It's been such a game changer for me and my life on just having one of these. Also, not for nothing, I kind of like the way they look. I mean, I know we're talking about all the safety, which is very important. It's T4 security. It's tiny microcut. We love all of that about it. But also, I like the way they look. I like the kind of the bullnose on the front. They're kind of a little sleek. They're small. They fit under things. They fit off to the side. If somebody walks into your house and you just see one of these sitting off to the side, you immediately, they used to be big, like industrial sized shredders with big kind of squared off, and you'd see that and you'd go, oh, that's an eyesore. But this doesn't feel like an eyesore at all. I think if somebody walked in, they'd go, oh, and the colors are soft, kind of muted colors, which I like. It's a soft gray. It's kind of this nice kind of, it's not a sharp white, it's kind of a little softer white. So I think when they sit in your office and they sit off to the side, they don't draw people's attention, and which is also what you want. You want safety.